Welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I'm Danielle D, or Coach Danni D, and I help women entrepreneurs and professionals to achieve their personal success stories that include joy, fulfillment, and balance. This is where we talk about how to build your business in a way that allows you to work with ease, be successful, and enjoy your life. My happy place is spending as much time in my PJs as humanly possible. And I want to help other women find their happy space while running profitable businesses or having a successful career. So get comfortable and let's dig in. Hello and welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I am your host, Coach Danni D, always here helping you redefine that success story, right? That's the theme of the week, the month. That's really in a nutshell the theme of the podcast, but especially this week, right? So this week is the launch of the Redefining Success Beyond the Grind book, right? So it's an anthology project that I did with several of my past podcast guests. It is a phenomenal permission slip for you to take charge of your life and build success in a way that is meaningful to you and that is unique to you. So if you haven't gotten a copy, go ahead and get yourself a copy of that book. It is available on Amazon. I have the link to the book page in the show notes. The beautiful thing about going to the book page, you can learn about some of the authors as well. So there's bios and links to their pages if you want to know more about them and follow them. And you should. They're good people. They're real good people. Um, so that's happening, or that happened on Tuesday. And then on Friday, we are having the first Redefining Success Beyond the Grind Summit. So, some of the authors, as well as some past podcast guests that were not a part of the anthology, are coming together so that we can have a summit and dig deep into these concepts of revamping your life so that your life fits you and not you trying to fit your life, right? So that's happening on tomorrow. So y'all got a Thursday episode this week. I really wasn't going to give y'all an episode this week. Sorry. But I was, I'm like between the virtual launch party, which was amazing. If you didn't get an opportunity to see that, I'm sharing out like little clips from that. So just, watch the Facebook page or wherever you follow me, and you'll get those little snippets. But that was an amazing experience. And then with the summit on Friday, I was like, I don't know, I'm just, I might just skip this week, right? Because I could do that because you can do whatever you want, right? Okay, so, but something came to my mind this morning and I was like, you know what? Let me give him a little something. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about today is co-signing, right? If you are trying to get an apartment, you're trying to get a car, you're trying to get whatever, and your credit is not good, or you don't have the right you don't have enough income, whatever the reason is, you get a cosigner, right? Someone who is going to say, yes, I will be on the hook with you for this debt so that you can move forward, right? Here's the thing. We also talk about co-signers or somebody co-signing your thoughts, your ideas, your ambitions. And sometimes we get so caught up in collecting co-signers that we don't take action, right? And I've been noticing this more and more recently. Not to say that anything's changed recently, I've just been more aware of it, paying attention to the level to which we are. putting our lives in the hands of other people. And a lot of times, like random people, it's not even like you are talking to a trusted advisor. It's different than brainstorming, right? Like I love a good brainstorming session. I offer that as a service because I am a masterful brainstormer because I'm a problem solver, right? So if you put a problem in front of me, I'm usually like my wheels start turning, like everything lights up, and I'm like, okay, here are 12 ways that you can do this thing, right? I love a brainstorming session, but let's be honest, this is different than a brainstorming session. We relinquish our ability to take action, our ability to make decisions by requiring a cosigner. And just like with the car or the apartment or the, home loan, whatever it is, just like in those instances, we are, on some level saying that we are deficient without the cosign. You don't need a cosigner. It's your life. You have full authority over what happens. One of my coaching sisters, um her platform is take authority, right? You have full authority over what you do, what you choose to do. And like I said, I'm seeing it. And there's nothing wrong with talking something out with someone, especially sometimes when we're making, big decisions or we may be nervous. And just say that I know this is the answer, but I'm just a little nervous about moving forward with it. That's a real thing. That's absolutely a real thing. We may have self-doubt. We may be in the middle of it and have self-doubt and be like, is this okay? Is this supposed to be happening? Am I doing the right thing? We're gonna always have those thoughts, but it's starting to get border on ridiculous, right? So what prompted me, I was scrolling through social media and I see posts like this all the time in different formats, but I'm just gonna focus on the one I saw this morning that made me want to jump on here. So I'm scrolling through social media and I love to do puzzles, and recently, Facebook just always want to show you stuff and get you to join groups and stuff. So recently I joined a puzzle group, right? People who like to do puzzles. And this person posted that they had an old puzzle and it was missing pieces. And we, the listening audience, think that they should contact the manufacturer. So it's a used puzzle. So it wasn't a puzzle they purchased, right? It's a used puzzle and they're trying to decide, is it okay for them to contact the manufacturer to see if they can send missing pieces, right? Now I don't know how that works. I mean, I puzzle, but I've never, done a used puzzle, and I usually I'm not that deep into the world, right? I I like to do the thing. I don't know that I'm a part of the community, right? If that makes sense. The Facebook group is new to me. But, I read that and I'm like, oh, it doesn't hurt to call and ask, right? Like if you don't call, like if you'll never know the answer to the question. Like I don't know the answer to the question because I'm not a puzzle manufacturer. But we do that. We go and get unqualified, and mind you, co-signers. And so there were varied opinions. Some people said, no, you shouldn't do that, or you should only do that if you pay a fee. And uh, just call the people and ask them. Just call and say, hey, is this something that you do? All you're going to get is a yes or a no. But again, it's not about this specific person or specific situation. I see this so often that the step that needs to be taken is right there. But we find 45 different ways to avoid taking that step, or we need 12 co-signers before we move forward. And you are stifling your growth by doing that. You're stifling your growth. Like, again, there's nothing wrong with if you have wise counsel. I'm a big advocate of wise counsel, right? If you have wise counsel and you know that that's the right person to run this idea by, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But stop hesitating on minor things because you have to check and see how somebody else feels about it. It ain't their life, it ain't their business. You don't have to have agreement as long as you're settled with what you need to do. And I would argue that you are settled. You just still are used to having the court of public opinion weigh in, are used to in a society where we are brought up to assimilate, are used to trying to make sure it fits into the narrative. Who cares? Them people not living your life. They're not living with the consequences of your actions, good or bad, right? They're not living with if something goes wrong. They're not living it with if something goes right. They just throwing out their opinion. And it's no better than your opinion. So just take action. So we don't need cosigners. Let's stop with the cosigners. Uh, if you want to share, that is great. But ultimately, you're just sharing. Usually when I'm sharing, I'm just sharing because I'm excited about something. Like I said, if sometimes I am brainstorming and I have the right people for that. Like I have the people that I know are going to take that journey with me of brainstorming, but I'm not allowing it to stop me from taking action. And I'm only entering that space for things that are big enough for that, right? Every decision you make throughout the day cannot be co-signed. You will never get accomplished in that way. Or there have been moments where it was a situation where I did want to talk it out with somebody, but in that moment, nobody was available. And so I had to figure it out. Again, I'm not saying, because I'm huge on community and I believe that, building a supportive community is top tier. But I also know that it's not meant to be a crutch. It's not meant to be every decision. This is not your life is yours. It's not a group project. It's yours. You can share your life journey with other people, but the responsibility is yours. So if you have the time to type to ask a group, you could have asked the source. You could have asked the source. That person could have, the time they took to sit there and go back and forth in the comments, they could have contacted the company and had an answer and been done with it. And when I said source, something came over me because that's another part of it. Um, and if, hey, you may not be a faith believer in God, and you may say universe, you may say wherever you want, but understand that if it came to you, not the puzzle thing, but bigger things, right? If it came to you and you were given the assignment, you were given the wisdom, you were given the discernment, who is your friend or some random person on social media to trump what God said? They can't even co-sign. They're not qualified to co-sign. God didn't already say that it's approved. and you going backwards to get somebody who does not have your credit, right? They don't even have your credit because God said your credit is approved on its own. And you going to get somebody who has no position to co-sign him. All right, that's what I got for y'all. I'm going wrap up the final pieces of the summit. So I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited about or very proud of the process, how the process is going. A few years ago I had a conversation with one of our past guests, Cassie, and she is her platform is all about rest and restoration and stuff. And she said something and it stuck with me about if this is the lane that we are living in, I'm a work with ease coach. If this is the lane that we are living in, then we have to operate in that way as well. So I've always been good at living the life that I teach, right? But I'm a little bit of a different person when it comes to planning. A different side of me is that's a different part of my personality, right? But I'm so proud of handling, all of these events, all of these projects that have been going on, handling them with ease and grace, um, to where usually I'm, wound at this moment, this close to an event, and to be able to be at peace and understand that, everything is going to come together the way that it's supposed to, right? So I'm very proud of that. But I am excited to get back to those finishing touches. And I will see you guys next week. So next week's episode will be special because it will be the episode that we recorded at the summit. So for those of you who did not purchase tickets for the summit, who are not going to be in those seats, you get a little teaser, right? You get a little sneak peek into that conversation. So next week, I'll see you guys with that very special episode. Um, and I hope y'all have an amazing rest of your week. Bye. Thanks for listening to the Prophets in Pajamas podcast. I hope you got some great tips to start working with these. Want to stay connected? Follow me at Your Workflow on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. For more information about creating balance in your life, register for my upcoming calendar detox challenge at CoachDanniD.com. Don't forget to subscribe, join the community, and book a call to find the workflow program that best fits your needs.